If Brad Pitt just hit you in the DMs and said, hey, that guy doesn't know what he's missing, move in with me, would you have stayed? Yes or no?
I think I still would have stayed, but man, I would have thought about it.
How could you? You lost a lot of friends because of what I did. How does that sit with you today?
The friends that I have now are still the friends that I had when we first got together. I just miss having someone to go out with and do nothing.
Yeah.
I would wake up at 3 a.m. and I would check your phone and I would scroll and I would find things. And, you do that for a while. And then as you keep healing and you keep working on yourself, you realize that that's just exhausting.
Welcome to Lights On. Glad to have you. Thank you for checking us out. Here with Laura Lentz, my wife, my co-host, also known as the host of the show.
Yep, it's my show.
How are you feeling, by the way? It's great to see you.
I feel pretty good.
We're filming this today in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Blaze Studios. My friend Jordan runs this amazing studio. So if you're in Tulsa, come check it out. If you're in the surrounding areas, this is a great place to film a bunch of stuff, videos, pods, whatever you need. But it feels good to be in a place outside of our house. We definitely tried what I've seen some of my peers do, which is film in their house, and it just didn't go well.
We should probably do some sort of behind the scene, BTS, is that what it is? BTS or the bloopers of the stuff that's happened in our house.
It was rough. But
there's been dogs walking through, kids, creaky floors.
We just don't have the house to
Roman
do that.
yelling.
We don't have the family unit to do that.
We
at
really
all.
don't.
Nobody cares.
So I feel this feels great.
Feels really good. Today, this is the most exclusive interview because I am interviewing Laura Lentz today. And why is because we'll throw in some questions that have been general, but what we found for a very long time is that people really want to hear what you have to say. And I don't take it personal when 99.9% of the questions are about you and wanting to hear from you. And we realized, you've had a million opportunities to do straight up interviews and you've never taken it because you don't love that. You don't, trust the situation. And with me as the host, hey,
you as the host, but you also the one that's part of my story.
It's interesting.
And trauma.
Okay, we don't have to highlight that part of it, but I feel like this is the Laura Lentz tell all.
Oh boy!
And in there's going to be a whole lot of ways to help people and connect with people. But I think why I love this is because the truth of our story is it's all because of you. Obviously, the grace of God has saved us a million times over and will continue to do so. But when it comes to our story, our situation, you're the reason it has worked. You're the reason we're here. You're the reason why our family is what it is. And that's just true. It's not like I am being self-deprecating. I don't even know what the word is. I'm not trying to deflect anything. I have had a part to play in this new chapter of our life, but none of it's possible without you. And because of you, we're in a beautiful place. And I think it's an interesting, you're the most consistent person I've ever known. I always used to preach, hey, if you have an issue with me, I get it. I have that kind of personality where you can pick something and not like, but my wife, if you don't like Laura, you have deep issues and you're universally loved. You are the most consistent person I know in character. And why that's awesome is, you can always, typically with people, you can find somebody who can have a story about a person, and that's normal. But with you, the story about you is you're always who you've said you have been. You're kind, you love people, you've helped people, you still help people. You're just an amazing person to the degree where if you're listening to this and you're like, is this a love fest? For sure. But I found it challenging in this chapter to help men who are in similar positions because I hear about their wife and their story. And it's challenging because I got to dig to relate because I have you and the way you have made this chapter work. It's not common. To us, there are some things that you do and have done that we're like, why wouldn't every woman do this in a situation like this? But it's a pleasure. I love you and I'm honored to be in the foxhole with you that we call life. And I'm going to ask you some questions. Let's go straight for the heart here. why did you not walk out on me?
I've been asked that a few times, and it's, I mean, the main part of it was at the very beginning, there was a lot happening, and there was a lot of the story that kept coming out, and which is usually pretty typical of this type of situation. And so there was that, and then I was also very much in shock. So I needed a moment to figure out which way was up. And then there was one moment, and I've talked about this before, but there was one moment in that first week or two where you were sharing with one of the therapists on a call at the time. And I remember you just sharing some deep stuff from your childhood that I had never heard of, have never heard you talk about. And I'd seen a part of you that was so broken and so much, there was so much pain and so much trauma behind it that you couldn't even finish telling that part of your story. And at that moment, I really felt like, I understand more, not all of it, but I understood a little bit more of why some of this had happened. And I got a little bit more is it empathy maybe? I think empathy to what was going on inside your head and inside your body and what led you there. And so I think at that moment I was like, I need to stick around to see this through in some way, because I wanted to see some of those broken pieces. I felt like you deserved to heal, and I could be a part in that to see that healing through. And so I think it wasn't easy. You know, people are always like, how did you stay? I don't know how you did that. There was times it was like, am I doing the right thing? Because you had all these outside voices as well. And I was like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but it feels right. And so that's what I went with. And also talking through some of that in therapy, I realized that was my choice, and that was the choice I wanted to make at the time. And so I did that. And then it also became probably like a mantra in my life, is like, I'm just taking this one day at a time. And so every day I would show up just that day. And then it would end up being another day. And so that has kind of been the way I have gotten through these 4.5 years. It's just been one day at a time.
That's a really good way to put it. And as you say it, I'm like, that's exactly how we do it right now. I think maybe a trap for people is when you try to imagine yourself like, I'm never going to feel different. I'm never going to feel, it's like, can you feel this today? Can you make a choice today? And I think that we're on one-day contracts, marriage-wise.
100%. And I think that was a really freeing thing for me, was to be able to, we talked about it. Like, this is a one day at a time thing for me.
We'll see.
And then it ended up being that all the way through 2 years, 3 years, 4 years has been like, okay, I think we're at a solid place, obviously now. But those first few years, the pain of it and the talking through those moments and working through all of that trauma just for myself, it was a lot. And I see it all the time now with people that reach out to me, and I remember I can go back and feel that for these women and for the men. It's not just women, but it's both sides, but I can feel that because I know how much you have to work through if you do choose to stay.
I'm not on Instagram. You are. And I know when you're reading a DM from somebody going through it by the look on your face. And I'll be like, Laura, really? And then you'll show it to me and I'll be like, dang it, now I'm invested. And we'll
and there's times I have to get off because it's
heavy.
like it can be too much for me, because I'm like, if I dig into that too much, it's like I still feel that. Like it still triggers my body, triggers my brain. So I do have to sometimes just be like, okay, I got to step back and go watch something funny or put friends on or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't an easy choice.
You know,
and it's not everyone's choice.
No, it's not everybody's choice. I'm realizing as we do this that whoever puts a timetable on how somebody should feel, especially the wife that's been betrayed, where does that come from? Because we love to be able to calm people down and go, hey, what are you racing towards? Like, why do you feel so much pressure to make a decision right now?
Yeah.
You need to make a decision about today. And then tomorrow we'll see how you feel.
Right.
And sometimes it's really helpful. So if you're listening and you feel pressure that you should feel a certain way by now, where does that come from? It's not real. There's no way you should feel. It just depends on where you're headed, what's resourceful for you. And often that's just feelings. And so I think you've done a phenomenal job of the day by day. And it gives the person trying to rebuild who they are also hope that I don't know who I'm going to be in 5 years, but today I'm going to stay faithful. I'm going to stay diligent, and I'm going to do what I have to do. So that's an amazing insight on that. If Brad Pitt was available at that time,
what, 4 years ago?
For you.
Oh, yeah.
And he had just hit you in the DMs and said, hey, that guy doesn't know what he's missing. Move in with me. Would you have stayed? Yes or no?
Wow, that's a great question. I think I still would have stayed, but man, I would have thought about it.
How could you?
No, you don't even, I don't even think, like, there was times when guys would is it called slide up in my DMs?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, why are you, whatever. And I'd just be like, ew, it was just too much. So I don't think I would have gone anywhere necessarily, but man, I probably would have thought about it.
Do you still have those DMs from those guys? It's like, Carl, that's not going to be helpful. Good for them.
There might be.
I don't blame them. So on the record, Brad Pitt, you need to know that would be a hard no for you, brother. That she would.
Yeah, but I would.
You're not
consider
supposed to hedge now.
Oh.
Now you're completely hedging. Lights On is proud to partner with God Behind Bars, restoring, rebuilding, reclaiming lives. If there's ever an organization for you to check out that you want to support, get involved with, if you want to see people come to life again when society has said life is over, this organization is for you. GodBehindBars.com. Check them out. There are ways to get involved, ways to give, ways to support. Maybe you'll even find that this is a passion for you to bring life to people who are literally behind bars, and you can make a difference today. So God Behind Bars, check them out online. We love partnering with them, and they could use you. Never know. Check it out today. What was the hardest part of leaving our church behind for you?
The hardest part of leaving our church behind? Are you trying to get me to cry?
No, not at all. I'm asking you questions that I think is helpful.
I think the hardest part was the people. And I mean, the people in our church, and then the staff were our friends.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that was hard to leave, and to realize that there was so much confusion and brokenness and hurt, and them also being told they shouldn't talk to us. So that was hard, because you're like, why? I want to reach out to that person, but then there wouldn't be anyone responding on the other end, or that was hard. Yeah. Of like just feeling like I couldn't, and I it probably wouldn't be appropriate either. Yeah. But I feel like they deserved some answers and some responses from us. Yeah. So I don't know. It definitely the people.
The people. I share that, but it's not about me. This is your interview. How do you push through feelings of mistrust, betrayal? Like with me, how have you relearned your own intuition? And I ask this because that's the thing where we've learned now on this side of it. We talk to women that are like, I didn't believe myself before. And now I don't know, is it me? Is it God's voice? Is it like, how did you relearn? Because you've always had a very scary sense of intuition. Like I remember there's been people we've had on our team, you'd be like, he's not right. He's off. And it's not a judgy thing, it's a prophetic thing.
Right.
And how have you learned how to regain that?
My intuition, that was because for a long time it felt like I must be wrong. And it was very confusing. So I had to definitely, when I went to on-site, we definitely worked on that.
Yeah.
So in my intensive, so people ask us all the time, what did we do for therapy and all of that? The very beginning was we had a therapist on the phone, all that kind of thing, and then in person and Zooms, all of that. And then I went to an intensive for 4 days. In that intensive, we definitely worked on a lot of body work. And like there's a book called Body Keeps the Score. And so there was a lot of that work that I did in that moment. So that really gave me confidence when I came home. Because I remember I came home that weekend and you were kind of shocked by my confidence in myself.
I was.
And it was just 4 days, but
Doesn't
that
take
4 days is, they say it's about 5 years of therapy in 4 days.
Yeah.
So I definitely felt stronger and more confident in myself. And then, so that was amazing to be able to get that opportunity to do that work. And the Holy Spirit, obviously, all the time had been there, which is what Christians would call intuition, I think, is just having that sense of like the Holy Spirit prompting things in you. So I got it. I definitely felt that again. And I would say things instead of like pushing it down.
Yeah.
So for a long time, I think I felt what was my intuition, but I would just push it aside. Like, I don't want to cause any drama or ask a question because it's just going to turn into a fight. So I would just push it down and leave it.
Important to note, when you did come back from the journey of your own work, it was what sparked me and you to decide I needed to go to rehab. And I think it can't be overstated that in a situation with betrayal, if that other person who's been betrayed starts to do the work, it radically transforms the timetable, because I knew that you had one foot out the door anyway, as you should have. But when I saw your face, when you came back, I remember where we were on the beach, Manhattan Beach. I just struggled when you were gone. And you said, hey, I love you. I want you to know I'm moving on with my life. I'm moving on. I'm going to get better. There are things in me that I want to heal. And I hope you come on the journey on your own way. And I was like, well, damn. I didn't think you were hanging out, but it was so inspiring and motivating. And I think the posture I see often from wives who have been betrayed, it's arms folded, staring, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
That I've never seen that be helpful.
Nope.
You did the opposite. You unfolded your arms and you were like, with or without you, I'm going to get healthy. And it radically changed me. And that's when we did another plan. I was like, I need to do more work because it is a matter of time.
Yeah, before you
I can't stop these patterns.
Right.
There isn't enough prayer in the world. I've exhausted that. There isn't enough this. I've exhausted that. Like and then I realized this isn't a matter of will. This is brain chemistry. This is trauma. These are patterns.
Right.
And you can have all the good intentions in the world, but if you don't change the patterns. So all that to say, your work was the real impetus for me to go further to a place that then took me further.
Yeah, I think I remember that moment too. And it was scary because I had to put myself out there and be like, I am doing this for me.
Yes.
This is not about us.
Our marriage, yeah.
And that was a scary moment because, you could have just like up and kept doing what you were doing, those patterns that you had. And that was a real turning point for our relationship.
Yeah.
Was right there.
Yeah.
You go to rehab, which was really hard because you went right after Thanksgiving, over Christmas time. Like I did Christmas without you, without family, without the kids. I mean, with the kids. Yeah. It was just me and the kids, and
we had some friends.
Some friends came through and covered
that gap, which was amazing.
God. But that was a really hard. That was
Mike
probably
and
the
Carrie,
hardest moment.
Daniel, Michelle Hines.
Yeah.
friends who showed up in the darkest
Bethany,
valley.
your sister,
Bethany
came for a bit. Yeah.
I was gone. So the choice I made to get well still took from you, if you wanted to look at it like that.
Right.
But you have been brave throughout, and that was a moment. You go, I got to go right now, and if I leave, it means I'm going to be gone throughout all of this month, throughout Christmas, and you were like, you got to do it.
You got to go. For me, it was worth it for you to go and for me to have that time. And the cool thing about rehab, because people get scared, like, because it's kind of scary, that thought as well, like knowing that you're going to a place for like 6 weeks and all of that. But it was so freeing for me that time because I knew where you were.
Yeah.
You couldn't go anywhere.
Couldn't do anything.
Couldn't do anything. And I couldn't talk to you too for the first 2 weeks. That was the worst part probably at first.
Yeah.
But it was also really cool because I was able to, again, do some more work on myself, knowing that I didn't have to worry about you, because I'm sure many women can relate to this. You're constantly feeling like you're hyper, fixated on whatever they're doing instead of dealing with what you need to for yourself.
Yes.
Which is the worst way to try and heal, which is probably another conversation. But I just remember it being so helpful.
Yeah.
In those 6 weeks.
Yeah. I think it's also important to note, when people look at our situation, there was a certain type of person that was like, Laura is complicit. Laura knew something or whatever. And it's funny when I look at it now, because there's an athlete in the headlines right now who is a serial cheater, just overt in photos all the time. And there are people who are saying we used to have sympathy for his wife, but now we know that she has to be aware, and she's just accepting it for the money or accepting it for this and that. And I thought how interesting it was that, the truth is with your intuition. I said it before right out of the gates, and it's even clearer now. It's extremely possible for someone to have a life that you don't know about. And when people are like, look, I mean, there was one moment, which we've talked about in detail, where you saw what you saw, something that you challenged, and I lied to you. And in that moment, a callous person would say, oh, see, she knew. No, think about your own life. Think about your own marriage. How many times you've asked your spouse about something and you can't prove it. You can't necessarily double down on it. You have to take them at their word. And I was really good at lying about this. Yeah. And I'm really good with words. I'm good with how to position myself. And that was something you had to wear for a little bit. And you did it with class because it was cheap. The lowest hanging fruit in a scandal are the cheap shots from the cheapest seats where people are mad, bitter, angry. They don't even know you, but you represent something. Right. And so they go at you and it was like, Laura knew. And no, Laura didn't know. And the fact you handled that with so much class. And at this point, if people think that, there's not full disclosure, like, are you out of your mind? Like we've went in gruesome detail, but I say that to give anybody else hope, that has to deal with that, like weather the storm. Like it's let people judge you, let people talk what they need to talk. They don't matter. And well, you never bought that.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing I hear all the time too. Like men are still trying to protect their, reputation, and wives are like trying to protect that for them as well. And
which is wild to a degree.
It's like scary because there's nothing to protect at that point.
Yeah, and in fact, to be very clear, there were a few times where I remember one time, you were asking me about things and I wasn't honest. And you were like, I am going to call Brian tomorrow. And I remember going, you can, but here's this and that. And like you, as far as other than just leaving me out of suspicion, which would have been founded to be true, you did all you could do. And I think that's important to clarify. And I just want to honor you for that. And you wouldn't stand for that. And you held your boundaries, and I was the one who broke those. But it's just cool to be able to say, even as far removed, like that's not always the case. Like sometimes you'll see it, like, oh, she's staying for this, and that. Like we've learned, let that couple just sort it out. Yeah, your judgments aren't needed. You have no idea. Your knee jerk therapy, armchair, like keep it. You don't know. You cannot know. So we
don't know. No one knows what it's like until you're in it.
Yeah.
And no one can relate. And I think that's why you lose so many people in the fight, like during the fire of that, because no one can understand it until you've gone through it. Because even me, before our story, I was before it happened to us, I was like, that I would never stay if this happened to me. I would be out, like F that, all those things. Until you're in it, you don't know what you're going to do. And so many people say, I would never. And then once they're in it themselves, they're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah. Or people see your decision and they're threatened by it because they didn't make the same one.
Yeah.
Well, I left.
Yeah.
Because cheaters never change. And you're stupid. It's like, no, you're stupid.
Right.
You can't project all your fear and all your decision making on everybody else.
Well, we get that too all the time. People putting their projection of their own life on us. Like, it's going to happen again. You should leave, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, maybe.
And the opposite, which is like, see, you got to stick it out. You got to stick out marriages.
Yeah.
See,
that,
it's like,
no.
Can't be clearer.
She's so,
probably shouldn't.
Yeah. She did the right thing. She's faithful, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really? Like, I don't want that to be said about me either. Like, I didn't just stay.
Like you just took it on the chin. What a faithful wife.
Biblical thing to do. And it's like, it's not actually.
No, it's not. In fact, the biblical thing was it's just as true for you to shake my hand on that day and say goodbye forever.
Yeah.
That would have been a very sound, reasonable decision. You chose a very risky, faith-filled one.
Yeah.
In control. And people don't know that, and I think it's important.
Well, that's the difference. I think there's a difference between staying and like just letting it.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of that too. Like, hey, my husband openly cheats on me.
Right.
And I'm like, you need to go.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy and again, I don't know the situation, but the best thing for you is to go.
Yeah.
If he's openly like not changing and fixing this and like saying he can't or he won't, you got to go.
Yeah, there are specific conditions where you can definitely make a very, very clear invitation for somebody. And even then, it's not a judgment. It's like, this is what we know to be true from what we've seen. Mm-hmm. Maybe yours is different.
Right.
Just consider this. And typically we're right on the money with some of that stuff.
I think it's funny. I had someone the other day comment on, I think it was one of the things that we put up recently. And someone was giving a biblical answer to it, like how, it's an abomination, blah, 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 like infidelity.
I made a simple phrase about open marriage.
Yeah, that one really got the people going. But this one was like infidelity, like in the Bible, this is like, it's done and it's impossible. The person wrote, it's impossible to ever be married to someone after that. And I wrote, I didn't answer because, man, I want to answer. But I'm like, impossible? Right. That's crazy. Like, it's just some of the
she's reading her version of the Bible.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you keep reading, there's more to those scriptures, but what do I know? Yeah,
impossible.
But impossible was funny
Got
to
me.
Got it. It's like, okay, great, thanks.
No, I think it's huge. And I often ask people, like, when you get advice, like, where's that pressure coming from? Like, often you don't hear as much from non-Christians as you do Christians. Like, they're 100%. Like, my church, my small group, my pastor, everyone's telling me I should, but I'm like, none of them have to live in that marriage.
Yeah.
So be very careful how much you let other people weigh in. It is advice and wisdom to be considered.
And
these are not orders to be followed. And I hate that. When we see that, it's like, you're going to tempt me to come out of retirement to preach a message to you, because it's not, that isn't the way this thing heals. It's not because you have some heavy-handed church system demanding something of you, and it doesn't work ever.
Yeah. It really doesn't. And I think that was one thing that helped me. I didn't have a lot of people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people listening and just being there for me. And since then, I've realized that, because it helped me to figure it out on my own. And I think too many people are real quick to give their friend or their family member, whatever it is, their advice on what they should do. Right. And it's like, you just need to be there. Like people ask me all the time, what do you need in that moment? Like
Right.
I'm a friend just found out, blah, 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 or whatever. It's like, just be there. Listen to them and just be there. Be whatever they need. Don't give them any advice.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because your advice is yours. This person has to live with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you need to let them make the decisions on their own because they're already inside them. Whatever that decision is in them, and they've got to find it out on their own, what they want to do. They do that through therapy or whatever, but no one should tell anyone what to do.
It's beautiful. I think even the way you phrase it makes a huge difference, like, because you cannot take you out of your advice. So when people do that, what they don't realize is they're weighing in on what they would do. And there's a way, we always ask people, do you want some wisdom around this? Do you want my opinion? Like I always ask people clearly, do you want my opinion?
Yeah.
If you want my opinion, it's a different set of fish right now.
Right.
Get the hell out.
Yeah.
If you want some thoughts on how to see it, here's a healthy way. Here's a hurtful way. Here's a way that we can put data involved. So you get to consider, you got to live with this.
Right.
And I don't want to be on the hook for swaying you one way or the other.
Well, it's getting them to ask the questions that they have and finding the answers for themselves.
Yes, which is
so
the key.
that's the key, I think.
And we made our own decisions for ourselves. And that's why we have a lot of strength in the way we stand now, because it's like at the end of the day, we heard everything, you know, and we stood on what we believed. And we're here on a one-day marriage contract again. Lights on. Proud to partner with Plana.org, an organization built to help people deal with the unexpected, from moms trying to give birth by themselves to people handling issues where they don't know where else to turn. Plana.org is a one-stop shop for people who need help. They have an amazing app that's going to become available very soon, but even right now you can check them out at Plana.org. Get more information about this amazing organization that is fitting and filling a need that is so desperate. Have you ever wondered, where do you turn when X, Y, and Z happens? The unexpected. Plana.org is created to give people hope in the darkest hours. So check them out today. Plana.org. We love you. You lost a lot of friends because of what I did. How does that sit with you today?
Feels pretty good for the most part. It was hard for many years. Because I'm such a person, like a people person, and I love friendship. I love being with people. I'm super social. But at the time, you know, even moving a lot, we've moved a lot in 4 years. Some of those places, I had 1 or 2 friends in some places. And it was great for me because it got, we got close. You are my best friend, and we're closer now than we ever have been, obviously. But now I can probably count on one hand my close friends, and that's okay. There are moments where we've talked about it, where I'm like, I just miss having someone to go out with and
do nothing.
Or go play tennis, or like go drink a glass of wine with a girlfriend, or like go to somewhere in the, because living in New York was all the time. There's always something to do. So change of lifestyle has been interesting, but the friends that I have now are still the friends that I had when we first got together.
Yeah.
Like friends in Virginia Beach, or like friends in Australia. They're the people that I really, and then I've got my closest friend in New York still, but
Florida.
Yeah. And Florida. And so I feel like I've got everything I need.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great.
I tell people that we've had to have different categories to be able to manage the feelings when it comes to friends. And there's a category that has the people that were with us the closest, staff people, our friends at that time. And it's a different kind of grace that you feel towards them because it's so freaking confusing. So we've seen a lot of those people come back around almost bashfully, and it's like, no, hey, you deserve.
Okay.
That's very hard to understand, very hard to compute. If you ever came back around, it's still a consequence is still going to be, Laura did nothing, but she loses here, and you've owned that and stood on that and accepted that, and that's still going to be there. But that category is people that zero expectation ever.
Right.
And then there's the ministry category, which people ask about all the time. And, from a place of healing, it's not that different than it was for me. I don't know about, how you feel. This is your interview. But what I noticed was even then it made no sense to me. And it makes less sense to me now from healing. Because I look at, especially when the pastor's wives thing, like we had a pretty tight crew. And over the years, we've realized that crew wasn't tight. And,
Right.
and you don't get a lot of passes at the highest level of being the Christian leader. Like that's where we always thrive, because we're like, nobody else is going to stick around. So we lead people.
Yeah.
So because of that, we're going to stand extra firm in the fire. And there are some of my friends who I no longer associate with, their wives you were very close with, to this day, never reached out a single time.
Yeah.
And it was atrocious then. It's atrocious now. And we say it from a place of peace. Like, it's cool. Like,
It's fine,
you can still,
though.
from a place of therapy and health, be like, nah, a spade is a spade on that
Yeah.
one. Like, so it's just at that time, it definitely can be an indictment on what leadership in the Christian community is really
But
like.
that's what I would say to that is, were we really that close?
No, we found out.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like,
yeah.
when I think about it, compared to the conversations I have now with people about what's really going on deep in my heart and
Yeah.
in my how hard it is in marriage or friendship or raising kids or any of that, it was just always like it was pretty
Yeah.
surfacey. And then there would be times where we would have moments of like vulnerability with our friends, but
Yeah.
really there's also not a safe place for that in
Yeah.
ministry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that sucks. And that's why I hope a lot of people in ministry get therapy and have that place to have an outlet
Yeah.
so they can be vulnerable. Because
Yeah.
it's hard
Yeah.
because you just don't know. You don't know. And I think now people know better. I hope they know better.
Yeah, they do.
I have deeper friendships now than I did
Yeah.
then, for
And,
sure.
and when I say atrocious, I just mean it's par for the course. Like, and when you really look at it from a healthy perspective, you're like, what did we really expect? The expectation was off.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't matching the investment, or the relationships we had were what they were. And then on this side of it, you're like, yeah, it makes sense that you would completely disassociate. And I remember early you were like, Carl, some of your friends, you can't do anything for them anymore.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that infers that's why they like me. And you said, it is.
100%.
It's a large part.
I
and
think
I
it was.
refused to believe that until later down the road. I said, you know what? It's probably a healthy place to land, is that there were definitely some people who loved me for what I
100%.
did for them.
For them,
Because they left when I could do nothing, which means, okay, that must have been our relational bond, was I'm the guy who opens doors for you.
and you did. You opened doors. I can say it. You opened doors for a lot of those people. And from like relationships with certain people
Yeah.
to church invites to speak at conferences, all that kind of stuff. Like, you did a lot of that. And then when you needed someone, they were gone, which,
And
whatever.
you learn from that.
You learn from
And
that.
I went from bitter to better on that one. I think
Yeah.
we both did, because we went from,
Oh,
I
it
think
was
you
hard.
got to have that season of bitterness where you're just like chewing glass. You're
Yeah.
like, I know it's on me, but I don't want to focus on that truth. It's also true that they suck.
Yeah.
It's more true that I put us in this position, but my gosh, on Tuesdays, I'm going to sit in the other truth. It's not as true.
We did that for a while.
you have
and
to.
You have to, I think.
Yeah.
And we're at a healthy place now where it's just like, yeah, and you can understand both sides.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Well, we're able to do what we wanted people to do then.
Yeah.
Not necessarily associate what a person did with their whole being.
Right.
So yeah, you did detach from my family and completely vanish. That sucked. You don't. That action
Right.
really was rough.
Yes.
I didn't get a lot of that, and you had to wear that. That's okay. It's par for the course. So I think you've handled that really good. Do you ever worry that I'm going to cheat on you again?
Yeah. Sometimes there's moments where it's very far, and is that the word? It's very few now. Like, it's not as much now. But there are times where I'm like, he could, and there's actually nothing I can do about it. And if he chooses that, okay. And I will do what I have to do. But I don't live in the fear of it. I don't live there like worrying about what you're doing or what you could do. I live with, this is my life. We have a great life together. And that would be disappointing if that ever happened. But it's like, I don't live in that fear. No. Because I think I know now what I have in myself. And I know that I can do things on my own.
Yeah.
If I needed to. But yeah, I don't live in that fear because I can't control it. I think a lot of women get caught up in that, and you do in the beginning. It's like you want to stay in that, like I want to check everything. And I did all those things. Like I would wake up at 3 a.m. and I would check your phone and I would scroll and I would find things. And, you know, you do that for a while. And then as you keep healing and you keep working on yourself, you realize that that's just exhausting.
It's exhausting. And you know, what I experience from you is a powerful woman. Meaning, I think you, through the work that you've done and that I've done, and then I've told you about the work that I'm doing, more and more, you were like, man, none of that crap's about me. Like if I were to, and I think that taking things personal is what keeps people in a bad relationship.
100%.
Because you thought it was about you, something you didn't provide, something you didn't give, something you didn't do, and it's personal. And I think you realize now, like if I were to do this again, I am definitely borderline insane, so broken and so willfully choosing stuff that like you, what more could you do as a woman?
You would be willfully doing that because the amount of therapy, healing, things you know about yourself, the things you know that trigger you, all of those things, you would just be willfully turning the other way,
and before you hear anybody in the comments I'll never see going, were you trying to say it wasn't willful? Calm down.
Yes.
Of course they were willful, premeditated, calculated decisions. Yes, that's what we're saying now is if I were to go backtrack on all of these things, knowing what I know now, it would not be about you. And there's power in that to be able to, disappointment. Yes. Infuriating. Sure. Who knows? But the woman that I experienced is a powerful one. And do I wonder if you're ever going to cheat? What a question. I like saying that to everybody. You can ask that about any spouse, really.
It's open to anyone.
The same way that you trust your spouse is the same way you're trusting me.
100%.
Do you ever wonder what I'm thinking about in romantic moments?
Sometimes. I did for a long time. The romantic moments, as you put it, those were hard moments in the beginning, like to get your mind. But because we had such good, intimate conversations about the things that you would think about, I didn't have to. I didn't have to worry about that as much because I knew you would be vulnerable with me in other moments. And so there was a lot of healing there for me quickly because we would talk openly about everything and there was nothing off the table. And so I felt like I knew what you would think. But even there's been times even the past year or two where there's been moments where I would have to stop or like I'd ask a question or whatever, like, you know, because it doesn't necessarily go away.
Yeah, that's good.
There's moments where I can if I want to, I could let myself think that all the time, but I choose not to. There's
a tool in an awareness level that you get when you do this work through rehab where you learn a term like euphoric recall, where you have to come back and tell your spouse about these things, which I did with you, which said, okay, so this is a thing. Like rather than lie to you when you ask me, do I think about other people when we have sex? The answer could be yes. And here's why. It's not about you. I'm not hiding thoughts. When you have lived in addictive patterns, just because you stop it, there is a euphoric recall effect, which is you only remember the good parts of damaging, horrific things. Euphoric. And if you will rewire yourself, you'll get to a point where that's not there. But for a while, I would tell you, that is a part of my brain right now. So you don't have to ask, am I? I'm going to let you know. If you really want to know, you can. But I'll just let you know there's going to be a good chance that for a while I got to fight through some really nasty, hard, complicated feelings. And so you wouldn't have to, are you wondering, you just kind of knew, yeah, I hope you're handling, you used to tell me, I hope you're handling your mind, because I'm doing the best I can. But even the natural flow of that conversation was empowering for both of us, because it wasn't like, are you thinking about other people? It's like, well, yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I'm thinking about you, and I'm overcoming right now years and years of toxic, negative, addictive thoughts. So yes, I am thinking of other people. And that truth and that honesty would help us stay eye to eye.
I think people would freak out at that, like knowing that that was your answer.
Perhaps.
But that's what kept me close. Like being able to hear your deepest, darkest, like embarrassing maybe, or like shameful moments of like, yeah, I have thought about, whatever. It's like, it did something in me to feel closer to you.
Yeah. Because
there was an intimacy of like vulnerability and like honesty that kept me close. So it ended up not bothering me, because I'm like, you're human as well. Like,
it felt good to hear that then. It feels good now. I think the thought of someone not getting that, I like to tell, especially because we've dealt with some incredible couples, and wives will ask that, like, I'm not going to be with him if he's thinking of other women. Hey, let me burst your bubble now. Like, you can liken it to if you've ever been on a really turbulent flight, heaven forbid a plane crash. The next time that person gets on a plane, if you ask them, have they even thought about the last turbulent flight where they hit their head on the ceiling and bags went everywhere, there's a good chance they have. They probably don't want to. Their nervous system and their trauma responses, and and that's kind of what it's like when you're coming out of living with duplicity and addictive, secret, private things, to then expect this new path to be free. I don't know. But again, you're secure though, babe. That's why it works, because you understand, even that answer, so some people can't handle that. It's too honest. Do you think about other people? There are times where that's going to happen. I'm letting you know I'm not staying there, but to be fully honest rather than not lie to you. Yeah, there are going to be times where it's like almost like a billboard and you're driving through a town. If you stop and you stare at one of those billboards, that's on me. The billboard's going to be there. And until they disappear, because I'm told if I work hard enough, they will disappear. And they do. Right. So encouragement to every couple who might be having an honest moment where you're talking about stuff like this, and you have to bring up something like that. There's so much hope. Yeah. Like God can renew and restore. And you can do the work to get your mind to a place where there's less Las Vegas billboards.
Yeah. And I want to say it's not easy, like, to hear those things. I'm not a freaking angel in this in this situation.
You're not like, okay, there have been times you've been like, well, I'm leaving.
Yeah, like, there's been moments where like it's really hard to hear. Yeah. But I would rather have that and face it and talk about it and figure it out and hear your honest answer than to like not ask it or bring it up, because then you get nowhere. And so I think it's worth having the really hard conversations and hearing the really sucky things that you don't want to hear. But, and it changes. And if you're doing the work like you did and do, like you said, like, you rewire your brain and you can rewire your brain.
You can. I am living proof. I'll be rewiring forever.
Yeah. And it's awesome.
And silver lining with that, you believe me when I say I don't. Right. That's what people never tell you. Yeah. So if I'm always like, no.
You know that's
it wears away at your word. So there has to be a way. For a while, that's why we had that combo. I was like, I'll just tell you a giant general yes, so you can stop asking. And I'd rather just be more honest than not. And then when the day comes where I can look at you and say, by the way, I have not thought about anybody else in a very long time, not even for a flash, a glimpse. And we had a conversation like that. a while back, and it was cool because you had to believe me. Because why would I lie about that?
Right.
If I am going to have the courage to be able to say, the honest answer is, there are times romantically where there will be things that flash through my mind that I don't want, which, by the way, all men battle to a degree.
100%.
It's not like there's some guy, well, no,
Yeah.
you don't have to go through infidelity to completely relate to what I'm saying right now. The only difference is you're probably not talking about it. But it gives you added weight when you're honest to be able to say, hey, because that's actually true.
And I think that was the betrayal was all of those things. So you lied for so long. All I wanted was honesty.
Yeah.
And that's all I needed to be able to build trust again. And so the more honest you were, I felt safer because that's all I needed. Like I didn't need you to not say anything or like not tell me your thoughts because you did that for so long.
Right.
And so I needed that honesty and that I didn't care what it was. I just wanted to hear it, whatever was going on in your head.
Any closing words on your first part one of Laura Lentz exclusive? I worked hard to get this interview. Let me tell you that.
Not really.
Anything you always wanted to say about this, the whole situation you've never said?
No, I don't think so. I just think there's so many more people that deal with this and usually the ones that are hiding things are usually the loudest about it, like to judge.
Oh, that's a good point. Very true.
I think a lot of people that, freak out about our situation or have left or run away or whatever in some way, not everyone, obviously, but I think a lot of people that are real judgy about it, like vocal and like public about their judgment on you.
Yeah. We found that to be true.
It is. They're usually hiding their own crap.
I'll be real clear. So what we're referring to is when you go through stuff, the way people react to your sin says a lot about their own. And it has been very true. So there are people who took shots at me,
Write
snarky blogs,
Substacks,
whatever it is. It's like, oh, turns out, my guy,
you might have your own
you thought
issues.
If you made enough noise about me, nobody would see your litter. Your grass has so much litter on it, and it's very interesting. So it's
I love
it.
Because everyone has their sin and all their stuff that they're trying to hide and get over. It's like it's got to be exhausting.
What in you wants you to stand up and double down on somebody else's pain and keep on going,
it's kind of
especially
nasty
in a situation like ours where we've been like, hey, kind of here it is. Like what more do you like? At what point would you like to curate your own yard?
Yeah,
Substacker, Sly Blogger, whatever that is, that world of just cheap shots. And it's not just for people in the public light. There are people who will do that in any workplace, and we've learned, watch what people criticize the most.
Yeah.
Typically, there's a reason it hits a nerve. So I love you. I'm grateful for you. We made it through another day of marriage.
We did. And just for the record, we aren't for open marriages, just FYI.
How could that ever be said?
That one clip of open marriage, people thought they just got taken out of
Here's
context.
what's stupid about that. My point.
It was just an
example.
example.
My point was good. I shouldn't even do this because if you do not have the ability to dig deep intellectually, and it's not even a deep dig, my point is you can learn from everybody. I said at least open marriages have upfront honesty. That's all I said. If that freaks you out to the degree,
they freak.
So run that down the line for me. So you can't extract any sort of wisdom from something you don't subscribe to wholly. Stop doing that. Stop being like that.
Yeah.
It's not the point. The point, I was just making a quick link to honesty. And although it might be, in our view, misguided in that particular scenario, at least they're honest. So that was the point. But I love you. It's fun to do this with you. And thanks for giving me the first exclusive. We'll negotiate terms after.
Yeah. I want some payment.
Okay. I got you. Until the next time, thank you. Subscribe, share, do whatever you need to do. Download. We love you. Thank you for being a part of the Lights On journey that we're on. Until next time, lights on.
Lights off.
It's your favorite part.